Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This is me, Sean Kohli, and
Hi, this is Rajat.
So today we just making this quick video because last video we had a lot of questions on actually how to go ahead, buy your first property, and because we see a lot of people actually living on rent, which is totally fine, but there's a lot of possibility like we as Canadians or immigrants coming in and buying a property, because that's what everybody wants. They want to live in a house, right, Rajat?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's always good as early as you start there. There are a lot of myths in the market that I would believe that stop the first home buyers, focus less on the execution. So I would give you an example. Like we as immigrants, we thought that we can never buy a house unless you get the permanent residentship. And now if you have seen the last video, you can see how that turned out to be a successful first project. We are also in the pipeline for another project. So we just wanted to share our thoughts, help the newcomers here so that they can actually get some information out of this video.
Yes, like that's so well said, Rajat, because that's what we want. We want to share our experience because that might help somebody who is trying to achieve the same. And there's a lot of information you can see online, but when you actually do the process, there are some things which you actually learn. So stay tuned till the end of the video, and we're just gonna talk about everything we went from scratch to bottom, like literally everything. So but how do you feel right now? Like you first of all accomplished this. Was it hard or easy? First question.
It mainly depends on what you're passionate about and what are your goals, short term and long term as well, right? So of course I would not say and you won't even get to know if it's easy or hard unless you execute that, right? So execution, I think it's the most important part, whether it's any project, whether it's real estate or anything.
Right, guys, if you put in the work, if you do what it takes, it's gonna eventually happen. Not today, maybe tomorrow, maybe day after tomorrow. It's just how it works. So how did you get into real estate? Like, why did you wanted to do this? Because again, like this, what we are sharing our experiences, we didn't buy the property to actually live in. We bought it to rent out and generate as a passive income. We don't plan to live in that property at all. That's where we draw the line, because once we are going for home shopping where you actually want to live in, that's a whole different prospect. Our views and experience is strictly based on getting just like a investment property.
When you come into the country, you give your time, you work multiple jobs and manage it with the studies, right? So I would say I would connect the passive income with the concept of buying back your time, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I thought. Like I was giving my 24 hours planned in doing part-time jobs, studies and all that. But once I graduated, I thought, and then I switched to the full-time job, right? So the concept of passive income, I think, gave me the initial thought of the real estate, where I can just invest little money, and then there is not much input required from my side after that, and then there's a steady income coming in, right?
Right. So that's the whole point. Cash flow coming in.
Exactly.
Well, whatever you're spending, let's say mortgage cost, utilities, condo fees, at the end of the month, the people who are renting are actually going to pay everything and actually make more, and you can possibly live rent free because your mortgage is paid off and you're getting extra income in. You can use that to pay off your rent. So basically that ideal living rent free thing, that's what the whole point of this side hustle and real estate investing is, right?
Absolutely. To get into the real estate investing, they need to be clear of the fact that what purpose are they getting in? Is it that to live in that house and build some equity, or rather you want to rent that out and build some cash flow, right? So that's the main point. That should be the first clarity to get into real estate investing.
Right. So let's get on with it. I have my notebook here. If you see me seeing that, I just want to talk about everything. So first time home buyers, Rajat, like what do you feel like 5% benefit is something everyone should take benefit of?
Absolutely. As a first home buyer, this country has a lot to provide already, and on top of that, they give 5% advantage. So whatever the cost price of the house is, you have to put 5% down on that property as a lump sum, as a principal, I would say, the first balance, which also comes up with an addition of the closing cost.
If you want to buy a house for investment property, you have to put 20%. Let's not get that wrong. But if you buy as a principal residence, and then you can get a benefit of just putting down 5%. But do you recommend everybody paying 20% or 5%?
I would say save on that cash flow, right? You have the interest rate of 5% on a mortgage, right? And if you can put that money to a better use, and if you're confident in investing and all that stuff, and if you can make a better use of that money, for sure go ahead and build 20% down. But if the purpose is cash flow, right, the rental, so of course maintain that, take that 5%, and slowly according to the interest rate put down the lump sum payments after getting the mortgage.
And again, it's a big commitment getting into a real estate property, so you never know what's going to happen. There's so many unnecessary expenses which we get to know when we actually get the property, right? For example, like we bought that condo, and condo management decided, okay, we need new windows for the whole building, so that gets add up to your oh, did he honk at you?
Yes,
bro,
I think so.
Bro, who's honking at you, bro? अपलोड है bro.
यार अपलोड के लिए नहीं,
ये भी आएगा.
तेरा दिमाग ठीक है bro.
A few moments later.
Down payment, Rajat. How we can focus on getting that down payment accumulated so that we can approach realtors and start our process.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's the first and the foremost important part, right? Making a mindset about the down payment that you want.
So basically, you have to decide you want to put 5%, 8%, 10%, 15%, whatever you put. Just the clause which we have to keep in mind is the CHMC insurance. That's right, Rajat?
Absolutely. So CHMC insurance comes into play if you pay the 5% down, just because the bank needs kind of security that the funds would be paid, because the financial institutions just in a layman language has more risk if you pay the 5%. So just to cover that, that's why there is a CHMC insurance in place.
That's right. So that will depend on how much you money put. It will range from anywhere from 1.25% to 2.75% of the amount which is mortgage, which is the cost of house subtracted by the down payment which you're putting. So that amount you have to pay upfront. So that will be as your cost apart from the down payment, plus there will be lawyer fees, closing cost, and Rajat?
And plus there are few costs which are termed as the closing cost, and I would name a few of them, such as the lawyer fees that are involved, which will help you with the completing the transaction. Then there is a CHMC insurance that we just spoke about, and on top of that
2% commission,
2% commission, which
takes.
always the seller pays in most cases.
So you have to make sure you go through the terms and conditions, and you see the commission of the realtor should be paid by the seller and not the buyer, because we are not willing to put that another 2%. We might as well put it towards the down payment. Alrighty, so now that we know, okay, we have accumulated this money, we have the down payment ready, now we have to go and look in the market. We have to look for that ideal spot which we'll buy. And so tell us a bit about the pre-approval process, Roger.
Approval,
right.
The borrowing part from the financial institution. So there are two options in this case. Either you can contact directly the financial institutions for pre-approval, or you can go with a broker who can get in touch with the various lenders, independent lenders, because the most important thing we need to make sure in this is the best interest rate that you could get in this market.
Yes guys, please go ahead, look for all the options from the banks, look for all the independent lenders. If you have a mortgage consultant with you, he's going to introduce you to these third-party lenders which will offer you a bit more. If you're sure about paying off, if you're confident about, okay, I'm going to meet my mortgage deadlines, I'm going to meet everything from condo fees and everything, then these offers which the third-party lenders give you would actually be beneficial for you. So please shop around, look for the best deal you can get, because having a home first time, you cannot trust one person. You have to keep on looking and get the best deal for out of your money, right?
Talking about our experience that when we were shopping around, these big financial institutions offer a little more interest rate just a slight difference as compared to the independent the institutions, because of course for various services like you can put a pause on the payment and all that clauses comes into play, so it kinds of like an additional support.
Okay, so now we got pre-approved for, let's say, $500,000, and now I'll go to realtor, ask him to send me email notifications of any house which comes in the market. So you can go to different realtors, they will have different network, they will introduce you their houses which are on the market, and okay, I like this property, how should I approach?
Realtor is a person who will basically will show you the places that are available on the market. They have these portals where they can send you notifications every day.
You just go through that every day, every week. I would say there's a proper new newsletter, and if you go, you book an appointment, you go for a showround, you put your offer. Coming to that, putting the offer, so how do I do that? Realtor helps me?
Not always like just a single offer, because there are other people in the market as well trying to get hands on that real estate.
That's right. Bidding war,
so,
bidding war.
Absolutely, the bidding war comes into place.
Oh my god. I am never gonna financially recover from this.
So there are the offer, if we talk about, there are offers with conditions or without conditions.
Right, with conditions.
For an example, we'll explain the types of conditions maybe in the later videos, but just to give you a gist of that, basically condition could be that once the inspection is done, then this offer will stand valid. So conditions like that. Generally in this market, basically when the market is hot, right? So the sellers obviously prefer the offer without conditions, and there are different clauses attached to it as well.
Right, and that is very important, because we as first-time home buyers, we don't know how the property is built in 1980s, 1970s. So adding that inspection gives us a peace of mind, but you never know, you can lose that property if you put those conditions.
Just selecting the right set of people, like the right broker and the right realtor, would help you in this process to make like a strong offer.
All right, I guess that sums up about the process on how we actually get property, but this is a mindset. So, we are getting some passive income towards this, and we're not gonna stop here. We're gonna keep buying more and more as we move forward. But how can you tell us, Rajat, now that we've built some equity, but I haven't paid anything from my pocket, neither you've paid from your pocket? How can we use this equity and move forward with this real estate?
Just to clarify on that part, nothing from our pocket means except the initial investment that you make, that involves the down payment and the closing cost. I think if I remember my experience, it was absolutely a learning path for me. We made some mistakes, we corrected it, and the execution, I would say, is the most important part, right? As early as you can get into real estate, you're building your assets, and that would be a right move. You should have that clarity with what purpose you're getting into this market, whether you are in for the long term, whether your focus is just on building equity and living in that place rather than paying rent somewhere, or you just want to stay in a rented place and use that real estate just for some cash flow and to building some equity as well.
Amazing point, Rajat, but again, I think it's always a long-term game. We cannot get in and house flipping. That's not something which we are planning to do. We just taking this approach for the longest run. Of course, in the meantime, we'll be building equity, but again, that's the whole point. Again, reiterating, we are looking this as an investment approach. We are not buying a house and living in it. This is what helps us to build equity. In the future, we're gonna use that equity, go to the bank and having a HELOC, which is the home equity line of credit. Can you tell us more about that, Rajat?
थोड़ा बाद में आएगा bro, ये तो बहुत जल्दी हो गया.
क्या बता देना, छुपा क्या रहा है?
मतलब ही नहीं बनता ना. हीलॉक बंदे को पहले लेना, तू 2 साल पहले की बात कर रहा है. बिल्कुल ही गलत है. हीलॉक इज नॉट नो गो इन दिस वीडियो एट ऑल.
ठीक है.
Okay.
So you can actually utilize that passive income towards things which you want to do. You can just save it in necessary and maintenance cost, or you can let it build, compound over time, and buy more properties with it, right?
But if you have a bunch of cash sitting in the bank account, right, that's again talking about inflation, that's just decreasing its value over the time sitting in just the bank account. So why not go ahead and seek this real estate as an investment property?
Right, it's all about financial freedom at this point. Like, it's not like you can go and quit your job tomorrow. That's not how it's gonna work. It's gonna take a lot of work, where this passive income which is coming automatically, and that gives you confidence to actually go ahead and do something out of the box. Quitting 9 to 5 is not easy, right?
Quick rich is not something that is there, especially like there are exceptions to it, but of course in long term, of course slow and steady and proper execution always wins.
So you have to make sure you have your mortgage covered, you have your insurance of the property, you have your condo fees coming in, you have your utilities, everything that is cost to you. You charge a bit more rent to the people who are renting it, and that's how we make passive income. It sounds like that's easy to do, but of course that's what it takes to do it. And I think if we coming in this country, I would say a few years ago, and we've learned this right here, and we've utilized that in our life, and we're just sharing that how you can do the same.
Let's all start clapping.
Well, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope it added some value in your life, and if you have any questions, please comment us down below. We'll put the timestamps in the description so that you can just navigate to which part you want. But enjoy your journey. And Rajat, do you have any closing comments?
Yeah, so I hope you all guys enjoyed the video, and maybe you learned something out of it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, shoot down the comment below, and thank you so much for supporting us, and take care.
Like, comment, subscribe.